Okay, shalom everyone. Usually I'm very, very happy to say, okay, here's the breaking news and think after it happens. And now I just came back from the city with my wife and there's breaking news about to happen that Israel is about to attack the international airport in Sana'a in Yemen in reprisal for their missile attack on our airport yesterday. So it's going to be interesting to see what the Israeli Air Force is planning to do. And of course, the Americans and the Brits have also been trying to degrade the capabilities of the Houthi Yemenites. But Israel, they announced it like an hour and a half ago that the Israeli Air Force is on its way. So that's about a 2.5-hour, 3-hour flight. And so just now in the news, they said that there should be an attack any minute now in Yemen. So I'm giving you the news before the news, but you guys have it there in the States too. Another thing that is very important is that we are getting very, very edgy about Iran. And even though people are saying we have 2 months to do it, I think that many people in the Israeli security apparatus want to attack right away. They don't want to wait 2 months. So, but I know that nothing is going to happen without President Trump's approval. One of the things that bothers me very much, and really bothers me because I love President Trump and I'm praying for him, they're saying in the Israeli news that he's going to be assassinated very soon, and that there are large numbers of Democrats totally committed to assassinating President Trump, which is the craziest thing I ever heard. So there are those people on the Israeli TV who say, well, we better attack Iran before Trump gets eliminated. This is a very crazy logic, but there is a logic to it. I would not be surprised, because even Trump said that any missile coming from Iran, coming from the Yemenites, Iran will be taken out. So I think everybody understands that there's no deal with Iran. So question of time. When will it happen? Other than that, Israel is ramping up. I had another piece of breaking news that the Israeli army, one of its units is already going into Gaza for the final attack, which is supposed to only happen in 2 weeks. So it'll be interesting to see also what happens with Gaza. Will we be able to save any of our hostages, or will they all be killed by Hamas? I'm very afraid to say this, I'm very afraid for the hostages. But 10 million Israeli citizens cannot be sacrificed for 59 hostages, of which 35 are dead already. So the destiny of the country is totally dependent on the Israeli army doing its thing. So we're watching Yemen, we're watching Gaza, we're watching Iran. In Lebanon, Hezbollah is making every effort to rearm and regroup and prepare for the next round with Israel. So Israel is sending its air force into Lebanon now almost every day, attacking Hezbollah emplacements and weapon storages. And not Giuliani from New York, Giuliani's terrorist, Shara, they killed 45 Druze, and they're killing Christians, they're killing Shiites. And so the Israeli, one second. Okay, breaking news. The Israeli military is attacking in Sana'a in Yemen right now. So that's the breaking news. We're watching it. I hear a word here and a word there. I don't need much more because we're so psyched up with this attack from Yemen and going back to Yemen, but they are attacking the airport now. So anyway, so the good news is we have a president like President Trump, who is our dear ally, and not a president who is an enemy like Biden. So we're all paying very close attention to what's going on, and we're all praying that we can do what we have to do as long as President Trump is not harmed by the Democrats. So God's will be done on earth and in heaven. We are watching also very closely the Turks. There is another story cooking. I think I mentioned it to you from my friend, my Hindu friend, married to a Christian lady in Bangladesh. And as you probably know, because of Biden, Sheikh Hasina was overthrown, and a fanatic Muslim government has been brought in its place. The fanatic and Muslim government now in Bangladesh is allied with Pakistan and Turkey. Turkey has some of its ships docked in Karachi port and getting ready for the war with India. So, India is not Jewish or Christian, but I'm praying for India. India is an ally of Israel. It is an ally of the U.S., even though its primary ally is Russia. Those who back the Muslims in this case, ironically, are the Chinese. Same Chinese who are doing a ethnic cleansing of the Muslims in Western China. But my friend in Bangladesh keeps me updated with the Islamic plans to destroy India. And they have nuclear weapons. But India has nuclear weapons. So I'm hoping, of course, primarily there should never be an atomic war, but it could happen with India and Pakistan. So we're living in a crazy world at this time. Everything is very crazy at this time. The Ukrainians sent drones into 6 Russian airports in Moscow. So the Russians are pretty upset about that too. But the Ukrainians have a lot to be upset about also. Everybody's upset. The only one who's not upset is me. Whatever God does, I suppose it's the right thing. So whatever, however, we have to look at it in that way. There was another piece of information. I don't know if you got it in the American news, but there is a civil war right now in Sudan. Sudan is just south of Egypt, and there were explosions in the port of Sudan, which never happened before, because of the rivalries between the two groups in Sudan. So everything is in turmoil right now. I don't know if you hear my canaries, but they're going nuts. Whenever I do a Zoom, they go nuts. They hear me talking, they think I'm singing, so they sing also. Any questions? I mean, I can just blabber, but if you want more in-depth information, give me a direction in which to go, so I can continue speaking to you guys.
Bobby, can you expound on the government of Pakistan? Is it what sect of Islam is it?
You don't know, it's Islamist. It's Islamist. It's not good news. 1 second. I don't know. It's always my son calling me, and I have to answer. Give me just a second. Oh, hung up. Okay. Pakistan had a democratically elected president, Imran, and he is now in jail. He was arrested by the military. Military has taken over, and the military of Pakistan has been taken over by ISIS. And so that's a crazy situation. If one of the atomic weapons bases in Pakistan is under the control of ISIS now, anything could happen. Any more good news? Pakistan is a mess. Pakistan is now killing Hindus, Christians, Buddhists, anyone who's not a Muslim. 60% of Pakistan is fanatic Muslim now. So I see the fact that Islam is getting so strengthened in Bangladesh and Pakistan and in Turkey and in other countries. And in America, colleges have been taken over by Islam. Finally, Trump is doing something about it. I just hope it's not too late. I wrote about this in my second book in 1999, Christian Revival for Israel's Survival, about how Islamic countries have divided up America's universities to be supported, meaning bribed, so that the agenda of the universities will be Islamic and anti-Christian and anti-American. So I'm telling you, President Trump is an answer to many prayers. And hopefully we can save the universities in the United States as well. I mean, to think that Harvard has become an Islamic university is crazy. But this is a process of 30, 40, 50 years. This has been going on and has been ignored. Universities have to be purged. All these Muslim terrorists have to be purged and sent back to where they came from. America, if I may say this, is kind of a funny country. It's kind of a silly country. They don't understand the enemy. But after the enemy attacks in a Pearl Harbor way or 9/11 way, even that sometimes is not enough. But sometimes it is enough, and we see the American people waking up. The elections in November, America finally woke up. You want my volume up? Okay. Is my volume better now?
Yes.
Good.
Avi, I have a deal. I saw where the hearing in Bibi's trial unexpectedly ended earlier than expected.
Well, probably because of the attack on Yemen. I mean, here we are fighting a seven-front war, and the High Court the Supreme Court is interrogating Bibi about how many bottles of whiskey he got and how many cigars, and about their pet dog, which died 10 years ago. I mean, we have a crazy, crazy deep state judicial system. So sometimes even the Supreme Court says, I think we overdid it this time. But listen, Netanyahu is innocent of all charges, but they have to find something to convict him so that they can then say he has to be removed from office. This morning,
amazing.
Yeah.
I was just going to say it's unreal how our countries parallel each other with the same situations and the same issues and the same trying to remove our governments the way that they're trying to do, that we just parallel each other in that respect. And we're the only country that does, that I know of, with Israel.
And the nonsense is getting worse and worse and worse.
Oh yes. If they can't get you on this, they're going to keep trying to distract with something else from the real issues of what they need to be addressing and taking care of.
Yeah. Okay, now the breaking news is that the IDF is attacking in Sana'a in Yemen, which we know. And the report is that the attack is on the terminal and on the planes and also on civilians who are there in the airport. In other words, the Yemenite government has not removed the planes or removed the passengers. So there seems to be there are going to be casualties among the civilians too. But who cares? That's not important for the Yemenites. Human life for Hamas, for the Yemenites, for Hezbollah, for Iran, for Pakistan, for Turkey, doesn't mean anything to anyone. We live in a crazy world. But Bibi has a few boxes of cigars. He has to go to jail for that. All I can say is I'm very happy that there's a God in heaven and that God is going to judge all these crazy judges and crazy lawyers. It's all going to be dealt with. I would say, okay, I shouldn't say this, I'll get into trouble for saying it. I would say firing squads are needed, but it's a pity to waste bullets. There should be bayonet squads. Do it with a bayonet, get it over with without shooting. In the end, that's what they're going to force us to do. Hi, Helen. Good to see you.
Hi, Avi. Great to see you too.
Did
I just hear you say that Bibi's innocent of all charges?
Innocent. All of this is fabricated.
Thank you. Thank you.
The chief of police said, we were sure, the retired chief of police, we were sure when these charges were brought up against Netanyahu that he would make a deal and resign. but they didn't expect Netanyahu to fight.
Fantastic.
And every court case he wins. So they look for something else. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, I know they're not going to give up. I know.
If they don't
Thank
give
you.
up, they'll find something else to cause another court case. They say, well, he's so busy with court cases, he can't be the prime minister. Crazy, crazy, crazy.
This.
The good thing is, and you know I'm head of the Judeo-Christian Bible Bloc Party, they announced this morning that we are already in the election season. Netanyahu and his government has lasted almost 4 years now. So we have 1 more year to go and elections in October of 2026, maybe a little sooner.
Fantastic.
So, you know, I'm thinking to myself, when am I traveling to the States? Because I have to go, sell my new books, raise money for the party, come back and start campaigning. So it'll be my 6th election. Can you imagine Avi Lipkin was a candidate to the Knesset in 5 elections already now?
Amazing, amazing. I wish I could vote for you, Avi.
Yeah, well, you know what? I believe, I don't know when it's going to happen, but I believe there are going to be millions of Jews and non-Jewish spouses.
Mm-hmm.
Dare I say Christians, because when I say Christians, everyone here in Israel goes nuts. Jews and non-Jewish spouses, let's leave it at that. And I think the day will come, all of a sudden we will wake up with a surprise, and the Bible Bloc Party will get in with 4 members of Knesset, if not more. I mean, think for a moment, the population of Israel at this moment is 10 million. If we get 10 million immigrants, of which 3-4 million are not Jewish, what does that say about our chances of getting 150,000 votes? And that's what we're looking at.
It's a bit like Bolsonaro in Brazil as well. He's in the same situation.
Well, no, Bolsonaro was convicted by corrupt judges. With Netanyahu, he hasn't been convicted yet. He has lawyers, which cost millions and millions and millions of dollars to fight, lawyers who are also costing the country millions and millions and millions of dollars. Bolsonaro was ejected from the presidency. He was impeached.
But there were false charges, Abby, against him.
What does it matter? You know, you have to be a prime minister or a president, excuse the expression, with balls, and to fight and to fight and to fight. And they're trying to wear you down by attrition. You wear them down by attrition.
Exactly.
Bolsonaro was facing up against very, very corrupt judges. And the president of Brazil today, Lula da Silva, was in jail for corruption.
Oh, he's a communist.
They are the best at lying and deceiving. But I will say one thing. In Brazil, it was pretty much 50-50 pro-Bolsonaro and anti-Bolsonaro. Here in Israel, it's 70 to 80% pro-Bibi.
Wow.
And if these commies and these crazy deep state people continue with this, if they push for a civil war, they keep saying, we want a civil war. We want dead people in the Yarkon River. We want dead people in the streets of Tel Aviv. These communists want a civil war, but they don't realize that they're disconnected from reality. So I think the word from that is psychotic.
Yes.
They don't realize that they are outnumbered 3 to 1, 4 to 1. So all I can say is Avi Lipkin, in his own very modest way, has to just sit back, write books, get them printed up, go to the States. I would go to Canada, but they'll arrest me in Canada. They'll arrest me in the UK.
In the UK?
Well, because anyone who's guilty of hate speech goes to jail.
Yeah, it's bad here.
My whole message is considered hate speech by the deep state. The only country where I can really feel free to speak is the United States of America, maybe Argentina. So I don't know. Listen, praise God, I'm very happy. I had my heart operation. I'm doing well, getting ready for the trip. I have to finish my 9th book. My 8th book is finished, but it has to be printed. My son Aaron has found some kind of a new system to reach out to the market of Christian evangelical pastors, which is millions. And it's like an ebook type of thing.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I'll get like $1 a book. But if I can get many, many pastors on board to get the book and share it with their people, my books are excellent material for pastors who want to learn and for congregants in the churches.
Mhm.
I don't expect Jews to read my books. Maybe a few courageous ones will. But we Jewish people are we're the most intelligent people in the world, especially after we lose 6 million people in the Holocaust that could have been avoided.
Mhm.
And there's another Holocaust coming in America to the Jews, and in Canada and in England. And the Jews don't want to listen to me or to anyone. So, you know, like we Jews always learn after a lot of blood has been spilled. So I don't know. I do whatever I can do to get the message out. Fortunately or unfortunately, it's not up to 10 million Israelis or Jews. It's up to 100, 200 million Christians, evangelicals, who might be willing to go out on a limb and study these things and say, you know what, Avi's right. How did the Jews not see it? That's the world I'm living in. So will I ever make it into the Knesset? I don't know, but I will say that I'm very happy to still be breathing, and God is giving me the opportunity to keep fighting in His name.
Mm.
So we'll see what happens. Rachel hasn't killed me. She hasn't divorced me. So you continue. So I was telling Susan my wife and I hadn't had pizza in the city years, maybe. Today we went in for a few things and we had pizza. Best pizza in Jerusalem. It's called Big Apple. It's like New York pizza. Fantastic.
Wow.
Yeah. So I thought of Susan and Al. I don't know if you've met them, but they're on the Zoom every week.
No.
We'll eat the pizza for you.
Yeah. If you have not yet met Helen Lenine, she's like my supreme hostess in London.
Oh,
So, in England.
Yes. So you can't come to London, Avi?
Well, I can, but you know, let me tell
Could we sneak you in some way?
This is what I was about to say. A number of times I tried to get into Canada, and they were saying, well, if you are a preacher, you can't come in because the Americans are blacklisting the British Commonwealth preachers, so we're blacklisting you. So I was already on one list. Then my books, if they say Islam, they were checked out by a good friend of ours who works in the British Customs. He said, this is all hate material. So I decided not to go across the border, declare my books, pay the import tax. So I parked the car on the American side of the border, and then my Christian friends in the U.S. drive me across into Canada for a week. They take me, they leave me, and I do my prayer preaching. Then when I'm finished, they pick me up, and the Canadians say, "What are you doing in Canada?" I'm a tourist. Okay, go. So, but at the Peace Bridge crossing near Vancouver, they said to me, "You want to go skiing? You can come here and go skiing. But if you're going to come to preach, we won't let you in." So I learned all the tricks of how to. Same with England. If I go to England, I have to go to say that I'm a cousin of the king or something, you know, and then maybe they'll let me in. And I've been in 20 churches in the UK. You know that because of what Annette Powell set up for me. So listen, I love England. I grew up with Robin Hood, riding through the Glen, Robin Hood with his band of men. You have to remember, England, in spite of the Revolutionary War, England is the home country, home country for the American people. We'll take you back. Especially, listen, Trump is going to annex Canada. It'll be okay. He's going to annex Greenland. It's going to be okay. He's going to annex Israel. Now, the only difference is we will not be the 51st state. America will become the second state of Israel. But it should probably really be one country. And Judeo-Christian civilization is what we're looking for.
Wow.
I don't know. I'm a little crazy. I had too much pizza, so I'm a little overzapped with calories. hardball. By the way, Susan, just to tell you, yes, I received it, so it's good. Thank you. I already thanked Annette, so you should know. And anyway, so everything is good. We're happy to be alive, happy to be here. We may have sirens going off tonight because it could be the Houthis will be sending more missiles. But as soon as our planes get back to Israel safely, God willing, I think the U.S. and the Brits are going to continue bombing the heck out of the Yemenites. I mean, they're crazy. They're so happy to die. They are so demented with their Islam. They want to die. I mean, Islam is a cult of death.
It is.
So we may have some missiles coming in tonight. And Rachel and I, we just make popcorn and watch the news and in our, shelter. And it's really, really like going to a reality movie or something.
Mm-hmm.
Bobby, how about the Druze situation? Can you update us on the Druze situation?
Well, that's a very interesting situation because the Druze in Syria are kind of divided between those who want to remain part of Syria. They just don't want to be massacred. So they want Israel to protect them, but they still want to be in Syria. And then there are those Druze who say, you know what, forget about Syria. We have to break away and form maybe an autonomous part of Israel, which I think is the only thing they can really do. Because the crazy ISIS people under Shara or Giuliani, I don't want to say Giuliani because I love Rudy Giuliani from New York. But to say Giuliani the terrorist, they're terrorists. Syria has become a terrorist country in the areas that the Turks and the terrorists control. But the Kurds up in the northeast of Syria, they control 40% of Syria. The Druze are in the south, and some of them are in Damascus. I hate to say it, we're a very small country. We don't have a big army. We don't have a big population. We may have to take Damascus because you have Druze communities in Germana, just to the east of Damascus, and to the south, you have Sakhnia, which is also a Druze town. And the ISIS terrorists want to kill everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And they're killing the Shiites too. They feel maybe the Shiites deserve it because what Bashar al-Assad did and Hafez al-Assad did to the Sunnis, this is their recompense. This is the vengeance of the Sunnis against that coalition. The coalition was Shiites, Christians, Druze, Kurds. There are other groups also. So Israel is very careful. We don't want to get sucked into a war in Syria. Mm-hmm. But on the other hand, we cannot abandon the Druze. Mm-hmm. I'm watching the fire in Sana'a, and it says the airport in Sana'a has been completely destroyed. The electrical generating station north of the capital has been destroyed. I see the explosion. Maybe you should all demand to have Israeli TV in your houses there. See, the crazy thing is Hezbollah are Shiites. They're the enemy, backed by Iran, and yet the Shiite Alawites in Syria are not the same as Hezbollah, and now they are the allies of Israel. So these Shiites are against us, and those Shiites are with us. We're living in a crazy neighborhood.
I was just about to ask that, Bobby.
It's all gangs. Islam is, I always say Islam is a family religion. You know what I mean when I say family? Remember the mafia?
Yeah.
The mafia has families. They're from this mafia family or that mafia family, and all that interests them is power and money and killing each other. If you ever watched The Godfather, I'm telling my wife after watching Godfather 10 times, I say, love, I can't watch this every time. It's crazy stuff. This is Islam in action. And you know what? The Sicilian mafia Italy, but how the whole thing started is from Islam, because the Muslims controlled Sicily for hundreds of years.
Wow.
I wrote about this in my 8th book, which I have to take to the printer. So in my 8th book and my 9th book, I've got to get them printed up in hard copy. I've got to get them sold through the internet. I got to get all this stuff done before I get on the plane, come to the States. So anyway, I'm very excited. Listen, all of a sudden I realized my pacemaker has been exchanged for a new pacemaker. I'm feeling good. Rachel is taking good care of me. As you all know, she's part Moroccan, so she always has a knife ready if I don't behave. And I'm trying to convince her to come with me to the States. And
Yeah.
I said to her, well, if you come with me to the States, when I go to speak in the churches, I'll say, you know what? Let Rachel talk. And then she's going to pinch me and say, no, I don't want to talk. And then she'll talk an hour and a half.
Bring
Hey,
it to
Avi, can I ask you a
England.
quick? Oh, I'm sorry. No, go ahead. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Rachel, Lori, I will tell Rachel that you said that. My Christian lady friends, they say, you bring your wife, you do your work, we'll take her shopping. So when I got a 3-year jail sentence in Switzerland, my Swiss friend said to me, oh, you have a 3-year jail sentence? Great, go to jail. You can write books. You can get your doctoral thesis. You have kosher food. You have color TV in your room. You have visitation rights. So my Swiss friends, they said to me, jail in Switzerland is like Club Med. And my wife said to me, okay, you want to go to jail, but I have to tell you, the Muslims control the jail. And if they can control the jails, they're going to kill you. And if you want the Muslims to kill you, tell me, I kill you first. You have to understand, I have a crazy sense of humor, and so does my wife. So maybe we get along.
That's fun.
I see Elizabeth. I want to go to Odessa, Texas. I see Neil. I want to go up to St. Paul, Minneapolis. I see Annette. I want to. I don't know, Annette. Are you in LA or are you in Brooklyn? I think you're in Brooklyn.
Annette. Annette is in New York, Long Island. That's my Annette.
Right. Okay. My Annette. Right. And then there's
Yeah.
Annette.
Right now I'm in transition. I'm in Long Island though.
Yeah. You didn't say it right. It's Long Island.
Long Island.
Hey, Avi, how about Lebanon? Can you update us on the situation of what's going on with Hezbollah?
Well, Lebanon is in a very difficult situation. The president, who is a Christian and who was formerly the head of the army, is saying to the French and to the American mediators and to Israel, listen, I can't handle this. I can't handle this by myself. I need Israel to come in and finish the job, wipe out the Hezbollah completely, because every time I turn around, they're rearming. It's like Yemen. It's like Gaza. You're dealing with grass that has to be mowed down unless you just bring in a tractor and uproot everything. So with Trump's help, we are now uprooting everything in Gaza. I just hope that nothing happens to Trump, and then all of a sudden everyone will say, well, he was wrong, he was crazy, don't let it happen. But the situation in Lebanon at this time is much, much better than it was a year ago. But the work is not finished in Lebanon. And you know what? The Lebanese, the 3 other groups, which is Christian, Druze, and Sunni, even the Sunnis in Lebanon want peace with Israel, as opposed to the Sunnis under Julani Shara in Syria, different Sunnis. So you have different Shiites, different Sunnis. You've got clans. Everything is different. Everyone's fighting everyone. And Israel maybe is the only country which is rational, except for the Supreme Court, which wants to put Netanyahu in jail. As they say in Italian, mamma mia.
It's scary.
This is, well, you know, we're living in a crazy neighborhood. And we have the legacy of Soviet socialism and killing of the opposition. And the problem is all these people who want to kill us, who are members of the communist deep state opposition, if they keep pushing, they're gonna be finished off. The vast majority today of officers in the Israeli army are rising up from the roots of the people, and they don't like what they see with the socialists. The socialists are primarily older people whose background is the Soviet Union, and the vast majority of Israeli population is against them. How can you do a civil war when the majority is against you, and the majority of the officers in the army are against the deep state people?
That's encouraging.
No, the situation is better than ever. Listen, why did I go 35 years to America, Canada, England, other countries as well to make a living? Because they put lies in my file. They fired me all based on lies, and they put lies in my file, and then I can't get a job in Israel. The only job I can get in Israel is to get elected to the Knesset and then put all of these people in jail.
Good.
Of course, nobody takes me seriously. That's okay. God takes me seriously.
Mm.
So what percentage of the Israelis in the north have moved back to their home?
We do not receive that information. It was 15% about a month, 2 months ago. I think it's about 30, 40%. There was a lot. Now, the people in the south near Gaza, it's already 70, 80% have returned to their homes.
Oh, wow.
And, I'll say something maybe a little cruel, but the more we bombard Gaza, the more we destroy everything in Gaza, the less or almost no missiles are being fired at the kibbutzim and the moshavim surrounding Gaza and the cities. Gaza's finished. The Hamas people are under the ground in tunnels. There are 20,000 people, terrorists, under the ground. So they're being taken care of. So the people who fled from their homes in the south of Israel, most of them have gone back. The north of Israel, they're beginning to go back, but the job in Lebanon is not finished yet. And so there are a lot of people who are saying, our kids are in school in Tel Aviv or Jerusalem or other places. When the new school year starts in October, November, by then we will move back. You have to remember, it's not just the citizens who moved out. Teachers moved out, store owners moved out, service people moved out. So these people are now planning during the summer, when school is out, to go back. The schools have to be rebuilt. Schools were destroyed. Schools have to be rebuilt. Teachers have to return. We're facing a daunting challenge in the north of Israel. But from what I would imagine, from what I've been hearing, from 15%, it's been up to 30% in the north of Israel. People going back to their homes.
Do you think it'll be completely repopulated?
Yes.
Everybody will go back?
I don't know if everybody will go back, but there will be many takers to buy the homes from those who don't want to go back. There is a great demand for people to live surrounding Gaza, and there's a great demand for people on the Lebanese border to go and live there.
Wow.
Listen, Israel, when we have peace, is heaven. Until these devil worshippers, Muslims, come and attack us on all fronts. So, again, I'm very optimistic by my own character, but from what I see, and I live here, and Rachel and I are constantly, it's almost a sickness. We are addicted to the news. We're watching the news all the time. We have 5 primary stations, and we're constantly flipping. The moment they go to the subject about the Jewish hostages, and we change the channel. We don't want to hear that, because that'll only be fixed when we get our people home. But we do talk about the military. We do talk about economics. Israel's economy is doing better than ever.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, God has been doing some very good things for Israel. And our population surpassed 10 million for the first time.
Wow.
This is Annette. I'm staying with Eileen, and she wants to know if you know anything about Trump sending food to Gaza. You know, Eileen.
Yes, 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 of course. There are discussions about exactly how to do it. What Israel is demanding is that Hamas does not get the food. Because until now, under what Biden was demanding, Biden was saying, oh, just send the trucks in. So we send the trucks in, and Hamas took them.
That's right.
Then Hamas would steal the food and not give it to the people, but sell it at exorbitant prices to have a budget for themselves. And what Israel's plan is now in the next 2-3 weeks to go in, finish the job with militarily destroying Hamas, establish secure humanitarian zones with the Americans. We don't want American boots on the ground. What we want is private contractor companies to receive the food and prepare special sterilized areas where the Gaza citizens can come in and get the food. The problem is when the Gaza citizens come in and get the food and then they leave the sterilized areas in the safe zone, Hamas is outside waiting for them.
Oh, wow.
And then steal the food from them.
Oh, they're horrible.
So we are looking for all kinds of ways to militarily finish off Hamas in the next 2-3 weeks. President Trump, I think, has scheduled 2 weeks from now to go to Saudi. And so we're facing a deadline. This has to be finished before Trump goes back to the States. So 2-3 weeks from now, we will have our final agreement with President Trump as to how to bring the humanitarian aid into Gaza.
Oh. Eileen says thank you.
My pleasure. Listen, I can only answer what I follow in the news. If it's true, if it's not true, we shall see.
Okay.
Thank you for the question, Eileen.
You're welcome. Love you.
Hope to see you soon.
Yes, certainly.
So tell me you have a broken foot.
Yeah.
She has a broken foot.
Somebody told you to break a leg. You should have smacked him.
I'm not advancing.
Questions? Any more questions?
Avi, I have a quick question. Can I take you back to Pakistan real quick?
Sure.
And this is probably a ridiculous question. I probably already know the answer, but are they also like sending like refugees, like Afghan refugees, back to Afghanistan and like sending people out of their country who they don't want, like back to just away from Pakistan? Like, are they sending people out back to where they're fleeing from?
This I don't know. The situation with Pakistan is that you have minorities that have been living there for decades, and they're all threatened with ethnic cleansing now by the fanatic Sunni Muslim Pakistanis. So it's Buddhists, it's Hindus, it's Shiites. That's Pakistan. It's already happening in Bangladesh also. It's not a clear-cut situation. We just know that the fanatic ISIS-type Muslims are in control, and they are planning. They've taken over the nuclear facilities in one of the Pakistani nuclear facilities. Only God knows what they can do. 60% of Pakistan today is ISIS, and I have to tell you. There are ISIS people in Pakistan, and there are ISIS people in Afghanistan, and they're all fighting each other. And then, I'll give you another example. There is a province in Pakistan called Baluchistan, and it's another Baluchistan in Iran. It's all one area. Both areas want to break away from Iran and Pakistan and create a country called Baluchistan. And these people have all these rare earth minerals. So the Chinese come into Pakistan, who they're backing, and then they go down to the Baluchi area, and they get slaughtered by are the Baluchis. I mean, there's so much turmoil, there's so much instability in this Baluchistan of Pakistan and the Baluchistan of Iran. It might even be, now I'm not saying this is a good idea, it might be a very bad idea, but it might be that, I don't know if you heard of Bill Salas. Bill Salas is a prophecy type evangelical Christian, and he says that Iran is going to be destroyed. What does it mean destroyed? All the different provinces in Iran are going to break away to the other countries. The Azeri area will join Azerbaijan. The Kurdish area will join the Kurdish people in Iraq. The Khuzestan Arabs will go over to Iraq. They're Shiites, but they're Arabs. The Baluchis will break away. There are many other ethnic groups in Iran that they're not Persian. The Persians themselves are only 50% of Iran. I don't know if you can hear my canaries, but whenever I do a Zoom, they are singing their heads off. They hear me singing, they sing.
Eileen has another question.
Sure.
She wants to know if you know anything about, in England, there's some towns that have Sharia law.
Well, firstly, I have to tell you, I think more than 50% of cities in the UK are controlled by Muslim mayors.
Yes.
So the UK has a problem, and the problem with the UK is the UK suffers from a sickness called political correctness.
Exactly.
As long as you've got this political correctness, there's no way to stop it. You know, I have to tell you, I can't remember who it was during the times of the Islamic conquest of Europe leading up to the Crusades. Now, I don't remember who it was. I know this really happened. There was an Islamic leader who was invited to England to speak with one of the English princes or kings. And there must have been something very wrong with this English nobleman. And he said to the Muslim leader, the invader, he said, I want to become a Muslim, and I invite you to England to invade England for Islam. And the Muslim invaders, or the Muslim prince, said to him, you are one piece of disgusting, and I won't give the word. Allah has given you all this rain and all this green trees and forests and all this wonderful land of England, and you want to sacrifice it to me, coming from the desert? Are you crazy? That's what he said to the English nobleman. And he was disgusted. He turned around and left. There must have been something very offensive about this English nobleman. So you had an English nobleman who was ready to betray England.
True.
Do you know the story, Helen? Do you know who it was?
No, I don't. No.
You know
But
what?
I
I'm
was-
going to check. I've read it somewhere. I have to find it, and I'll let you know who it was and when it happened. But it's supposedly not a fable. It's something that really happened.
The NHS in England is advising their nurses and doctors to convert to Islam.
Well, if you have so many Muslim patients and they all give their business to a Muslim doctor, God forbid, but it may be convenient to become a Muslim in order to get more business.
Well, I read a story yesterday about a Jewish man he lives in North London. He went to the same hospital that Patrick was in, and the Muslim nurses wouldn't treat him when he was really ill. It's appalling.
Did you hear about, Helen, did you hear about Australia?
No.
It was on the TV. There was a male nurse and a few female nurses who were Muslims in an Australian hospital, and they were gesturing like this. All the Jews who came to the hospital, we killed them.
I totally saw that.
That's shocking.
Or maybe in England they won't show it, but it was shown on Israeli TV, and I see Laurie saw it. I mean, you have to be very careful. You're dealing with people who are satanic. They're
True.
driven by the Satan, but you can't say it in England, and you can't say it in Canada.
And the
And
other
in
thing is, no one in England wants to talk about it. We're all pretending it's not happening. That's the real deception.
You know what? Listen, you remember Winston Churchill? Winston Churchill's my role model. You know that Lord Halifax and Chamberlain,
Yes.
they wanted to put Winston up against the wall and to shoot him in the 30s for speaking bad about Hitler. And they said, no, the Germanic people and the English people are related, and we're fellowshipping, and we're together. And you know what Winston Churchill said about Hitler. So they were saying he is a danger to England. We should be friends with the Germans. I mean, I don't know that much about English history, but I know enough. And Winston Churchill's my role model. He was the great hero who stood up to everybody who attacked him.
It's true. He was a brave man.
Yeah. And you know what? When former President Franklin Delano Roosevelt was dithering, England was fighting all along. I mean, the war started in the summer of '39. It wasn't until December 7th, 1941, when the Japs attacked Pearl Harbor, that America came into the war. England was all alone. I mean, it had the Commonwealth, but England was all alone. That's why I always grew up loving England.
Yeah, it's scary days. London especially London's fallen already.
Yeah. By the way, I interrupt myself. Lori asked me a question. What do I think about Erdogan of Turkey and the good words, the kind words of Trump? You probably all heard Trump said nice things about Erdogan. And, you know, I have to tell you something. Trump, now you remember he threw Zelensky out of the White House.
That's right.
You remember? So who did Trump make a deal with? With Zelensky. Listen, this Trump, you never can tell what he's going to do.
He's unpredictable.
So he says, Erdogan, oh, nice guy. What did he say about Putin? Putin's my friend. You know, the Democrats went crazy with that. They were all trying to convict and impeach Trump because he's his friend. But Trump went with Zelensky. Basically, Trump went with Europe. Everyone was saying, oh, it's all over between the Americans and the Europeans. Nonsense. Listen, Trump is an actor. And
that's interesting.
And I say, in a way, he's a crazy actor. But you know what? Crazy like a fox.
Yeah. Very clever.
If Erdogan does crazy stuff is going to happen to him. No, let me tell you one more thing. I think I mentioned it in past broadcasts. I didn't see you, I think, once or twice in the last few weeks. But I don't know if you know this. The southeast of Turkey is Kurdish. 1/4 of the Turkish population is Kurdish.
Yes.
The southwest of Turkey, you know who lives there? The Shiites, the Alawites, the same people who broke away from, part of Syria. So you have southeast is Kurdish, southwest is Shiite Alawite. Turkey is in big danger if they want to mess around with the United States and with other people. I personally predict, and one of my, I don't want to say campaign promises, but I am the head of a political party. I'm saying that the Kurds must have a Kurdish state. And that Kurdish state would be about 50 to 60 million people, covering the territories of Turkey, Syria, Iran, and Iraq. And Kurdistan will be an ally of the U.S., and Kurdistan will be an ally of Israel. We're going to change the whole map in the Middle East. Do we want to? No, we don't want to, because the Arabs are so crazy. The Turks are so crazy. I don't know what's going to happen with Trump. I pray to God he finishes his 4 years. I pray to God he has good health. There's so much work that has to be done. If Trump does the things that I think he's going to do, he won't have his face on Mount Rushmore. He's going to have a whole mountain named after him. I love President Trump. I don't see it. Maybe now Marco Rubio is beginning to go up in the poll, but and Marco Rubio is fantastic.
Who is he?
He's now Secretary of State of the United States. He was also, I think, either governor or senator from Florida. So Florida has some wonderful people, wonderful Christians.
That's true.
Listen, the areas where I spend most of my time is Florida and Texas. Maybe Oklahoma also. So anyway, I'm 76. I don't know if God's going to allow me to live another 10 years or 20 years or 30 years. But as long as I have my capabilities and I have my health and my breath, I'm going to continue working. And if Trump invites me to Washington or Mar-a-Lago, I don't know where, says I want to, I'll stop everything and work with him for a short time, at least until the elections, and then come back in. Trump needs all the good advisors he can get.
That's true.
Lori, you are asking about the 7 fronts. Are you writing down? Front number 1 is Gaza, obviously. Front number 2, Hezbollah. Front number 3, Iran. Front number 4, Syria. Front number 5, the Shiite militias in Iraq, which are basically gone now. Judea, Samaria, and then the Houthis in Yemen. That's the 7-front war. Those are very active fronts. Our army is totally tied down. This is like Gulliver's Travels. We're tied down by all these little nonsense people. Any more questions? We have a little more time if you have questions. Good to see you, Neil. God bless you. Any movement in Egypt recently? I don't know. What they show on TV is old movies. I think the Egyptians will not attack us openly. I don't know. I don't know what to say about Egypt. Egypt has to be completely crazy to attack us. I think the United States has some word in this process. So I think President Trump is also keeping the Egyptians under the tight rein. I will say one thing. In June of 1974, I was in Israeli artillery maneuvers in the desert. June 74. And we were told that war with Egypt was absolutely imminent. All our preparations were for war with Egypt.
Test 1 2. Test 1 2.
That was June of 1977. 2 months later, they announced that President Sadat was coming to Israel. That at all this time, there had been negotiations between Prime Minister Begin and President Anwar Sadat. So on the one hand, we were told war is imminent, then all of a sudden we had a peace agreement with Egypt. So there's so much going on that much of it, we don't even know what's happening.
Eileen wants to know, what do you think about Trump and the tariffs?
Trump what?
Trump and the tariffs?
The tariffs. His tariff program.
Tariffs.
The tariffs.
Yeah, the tariffs, yes. Well, listen, this is a very, very complicated economic maneuver. It's very hard to know how it's going to turn out. But I will draw the comparison to a person who's very sick, and the American economy seemed to be doing very well, but everybody knew that the American economy is very sick. And when a person is very sick, sometimes that person has to go under the surgeon's knife. Trump is like a surgeon, and he's cutting out a lot of the crap, a lot of the waste. And the tariffs are such that America cannot continue to absorb all these losses that Americans are buying products in China and in other countries, and yet all these other countries are being unfair to the States of America. So from what I understand, there are a lot of countries who have made dates to meet with the President Trump and to come to some kind of gentleman's agreement on different things so that the tariffs would be modified. I think even the Chinese are asking for talks and bring things down, put the fires out, or tamper the fires. Biden was completely out of the picture. So I think Trump is trying to do what no other president was ready to do: take the bull by the horns. Listen, sometimes, Americans think that the only thing that makes America great is cheap products from China. But that leads to the death of the American economy. Mm-hmm. And so, I'm a person who believes that every country should have a fair trade agreement with all the other countries. And if you have a country which turns out to behave like an enemy, which is China, why should you be giving your money to China?
Right.
I think that was a very good.
I think a lot of this is dependent on how the behind-the-scenes negotiations take place. Even Israel was hit with 17% tariffs. We had, I don't know what kind of negotiations we had, but it came, I think, down to 14%. But 10% is absolutely logical. So I don't know. I'm constantly watching in the news every day what country is negotiating. I think negotiations with Japan have been established. So hopefully things in Japan are going to get straightened out. Japan is the third economy in the world. So I don't know what's going to happen with China, but a lot depends also. Is China looking for a war with Japan, South Korea, Formosa, Indonesia, Philippines, Vietnam? I mean, there are a lot of countries that China wants to attack because there's oil right in the middle there of the South China Sea. So somewhere there has to be a country like the United States where the president is the sheriff. And all of this is together with a trade war. I don't know if I answered your question, but you have to have a strong president who's ready for war in order to assure that there will be peace.
Yes. She said, yes, you answered her question. But she said also that the Prime Minister from Canada is here today in the United States.
I bet he's sitting down with Trump right now and discussing the tariff.
Yeah.
He got elected? No, he does. It's one thing to be a candidate, and it's one thing to get elected, and then you have all that responsibility. I'm waiting for the day that I can go back to Canada. I'd love to go to Canada. I'm waiting for the day I can go back to England again. I have to tell you a little story. I don't know if I mentioned this. This must have been maybe 6 months ago. I spoke twice in a place called Faroe Islands. Faroe Islands is just north of the UK. These are Norwegian, Icelandic type Scandinavians, wonderful people. Beautiful, beautiful lady who's very active in the Christian embassy. She brought me twice to Faroe Islands. I want to tell you, I loved it. It was so nice. The people are so Christian and so wonderful. Everything is so nice there. And then about 6 months ago, I see an article, I read an article that the Turks, listen to this, the Turks sold Faroe Islands the most advanced fishing ship in the world. It catches the fish, it processes them. Basically, that Turkish fishing ship doubled Faroe Islands' economy. Faroe Islands sells almost all its products to Russia. So all of a sudden, nobody wants to hear me in Faroe Islands anymore because they've been bought out by this fishing boat. So follow the money trail. A lot is the money trail. I don't talk money. I talk about the God. God versus the devil. That's why this 9th book of mine is about Turkey and the devil.
Wow. Is it published already, Avi?
No, I'm still working on it.
Okay.
I'm still working on it. It'll be about 200-300 pages, but it has everything you want to know about Turkey. It has the history of the Arabs invading North Africa and Europe, and then the Turks continued what the Arabs had started. It's not a simple thing. I mean, there's a lot of history involved here. And most people don't know or care about history. It's not just European countries or the U.S. or Canada. It's also here in Israel. A lot of Israelis don't care about anything except going to the mall. We're people like every other people. Just our men get called up to the army all the time because the devil is attacking us.
I know.
You guys got me all riled up.
Have the fires subsided?
Huh?
Have the fires subsided now? Are they out?
No. The fires are out. The fires are out.
Good.
We had a very, very tragic fire a few years ago until Israel made the right preparations for other fires. Here, the deep state crazy people here in Israel say it's global warming. It's not global warming. It's arson. Muslim terrorists fighting us with fire.
I know.
But the good news is that nobody died. No homes or businesses were destroyed or infrastructure. Most of these fires spread into the grasslands, surrounding the highway. So we put out the fires. We're going to replant everything. God is with us.
He is.
Yeah. They want scorched earth, the enemy. They're going to have scorched earth.
Mm.
That wrap it up for today, Avi?
Okay, sweetie. I see that you had a lot of patience with me today.
Good
Anyway,
information.
God bless you and God bless everyone. And
God
stay
bless
tuned to
you.
what's going on. They just said now on the TV that Israel attacked Yemen the second time within an hour. So there are waves of planes hitting Yemen right now.
Good.
And I personally believe. You remember President Trump said any missile from Yemen, Iran will be blamed.
Mhm.
So Iran is not far away from getting zapped.
Good.
Good.
I think they've been very patient with Iran.
We all have been, yeah. And you know what? Iranians are great people. I don't know. This whole
Yeah.
Ayatollah government is an anomaly.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Completely out of place in this world today.
Mhm.
Oh.